What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing. We are live here in Las Vegas. I'm just going to jump into a party. So, every championship can be won this evening. We've already determined Tier 3 and Tier 2, and we can get the championship in Tier 1 all done and dusted. So, we have a couple of drivers who have already come straight out on track. One being Formula I in the Red Bull No Pro Magic. Yeah, no worries, Crad, you're good. Take your time, man. 10 minutes of sprint qualifying. So, Formula I is the first driver out on track. A couple of drivers just using their mediums to see what they can do. And I'm just going to do a quick sound check in a minute. Bear with me. And now I'm just going to do a quick sound check. Beautiful stuff. So, Formula I, the first driver on track, coming down in towards turn 12 at Treasure Island, and then down the Las Vegas Boulevard. We know he's got pace. I've got a funny feeling he's not going to be in Tier 3 for long next season because his pace was really strong this morning. Yeah, no worries, Dennis. Oh, good, mate. Apologies about the car seat, but I'll switch it on the system. But it had already been confirmed, and I'd already swapped him twice as well. What's going on, Salute? The graphics look awesome, by the way. I've just been so caught up in everything and so hectic. Honestly, I've had about... I'm not even going to over-exaggerate. I probably had 20 messages and loads to do in the background. So, Theo Townland in the Kickstarter goes up to P2. Umbra Ghost in the Haas in to P3. And then we have a Ferrari going into the pit lane. That is Mirko. What's going on, Pele? And we have a Liz, his debut race. He will be on the grid in season 12. That is deadly, a 1:31.2 in the Haas that goes fastest at any car, mate. So, Fanfinus in the Ferrari, fighting for the championship, a 1:31.1. B right in the Aston Martin is going to be next. It'll be interesting to see where he puts it. Jeffrey Boy goes up to P3 in the Kick Sauber. The championship leader leads by 55 points down towards the line. The Sauber, the Aston Martin goes fastest, a 1:30.9 in this sprint qualifying. Ryan Clementon, his teammate, is going to play a pivotal role in this evening's championship, especially with the constructors still up for grabs. Ryan Clemenson to the line, goes fastest, a 1:30.4. Incredible stuff on their mediums. Liz, and we do have Epic OJ and Reese. Epic OJ just starting his lap. Hatmore on an out lap. Liz, the Mexican, just coming into the Las Vegas sphere. Reese will be next. Let's see what he can do as he dives in towards turn 14 through Planet Hollywood. And Reese needs to outscore B Right by at least 8 points this evening to stay in this championship. And it's a 1:30.5. It's P2 for the Mercedes. Epic OJ went P3 with a 1:30.6. Jensen in the McLaren will be next. He's a 10th up on his lap time. Surely not. No, he's absolutely flying here. Jensen in the Papaya, and he goes P6 in the McLaren. He lives in the Williams. What's going on, Formula I? On his debut, down in towards turn 14. And we'll see what he can do on his debut. This looks like a pretty decent lap from the Williams driver. It's going to be close. It's a 1:31.5. And it is P9. Sorry, I thought it was in the 130s. So, the first runs are done. So Mirko will start his lap now. And the Ferrari driver. Remember, it is a sprint race. So, Mirko coming down towards turn 12. And that is Crab Boy on the grid in the Racing Bull. Epic Ojo. With them connection issues again. Not sure what's going on. Oh, and Mirko's into the wall. Mirko's out. The Ferrari of Mirko is out here in sprint qualifying, and that is massive. Wow, wow, wow. Mirko, who is looking very strong, has done a Colapinto, and he is out. That is massive. Umbra Ghost in the Haas on another lap. Crab Boy on an outlap. Hatmore went up to P8 at 1:31.3. But as we've seen last time, he did a couple of slow laps and then right at the end just came out of nowhere to take pole position. Sorry, bear with me. So, Umbra Ghost, Asbill in the McLaren. His home Grand Prix. I say his home Grand Prix. We have 3 USA races, and some of them could be... yeah, that'd be a brilliant salute. We've got 3 USA Grand Prix, and when we say home Grand Prix, they could be the distance from here to Italy, you know? So, Asbill in the McLaren, a little bit of traffic in front of him. Just navigates through really close to the wall. Is he going to get a bit of slipstream from the Ferrari? He does. A cheeky bit of slipstream from Asbill. Trying to get as much pace as possible. I was going to try the overlays for Tier 1 today and see if we could make them work, but I tried to get different overlays from SimHub and I've just not managed to put them all on yet, so I didn't want to run it. Asbill up to P7. What a lap that is. Zora War down to P17. Hackmore is out. Hackmore is retired. In the pit lane. She is down. So here comes the Mercedes of Reese. He's going to improve. It's a 130.3. And surely it's pole position, but it's not caught up yet. Oh, he invalidated it. Epic OJ can do no more. The Aston Martin of Ryan Clemenson is also improving massively here. But Reese invalidated it. Where is it going to put him? Fanfinis is already down to P6. Ryan Clemenson comes through to take pole with a 130.5. SCI Jensen will be next. The Papaya improving. Down towards turn 17 we go. Where is Jensen going to put it? It's a 130.3. Incredible. Up to P2 for SCI Jensen. Elias invalidates it on his debut. Now here comes Zora. He invalidates it on the final corner. The Aston Martin. A P right goes P2. It's an Aston Martin 1-2 here in Las Vegas. Joshua Bear has invalidated it. The Ferrari of Fanfinis, the championship contender, will be next. The Scuderia, to the line we go. Can Fanfinis take it? It's a 130.4. It's only P4. The Kicksauber of Jeffy and Theo Townland can't improve. Crab Boys is going into the pit lane. The Haas of Umbra Ghost is slightly up on his lap time, but it's not going to be enough, surely not. And he goes up to P9. It is enough to get him right up the grid, though. And I think that is it. Deadly, Asbill, and the checkered flag has waved. Formula Race half a second up, but Ryan Clemenson in the Aston Martin looks to have taken pole position here in Vegas. Aston Martin lock out the front row. Wow, so sprint qualifying is over. I need to get these updated on the stats, so bear with me. So, sprint qualifying it is. Ryan Clemenson that will start on pole position is B right in P2, SCI Jensen in P3. Fanfinis and then Reese, let me write that down, his name never shows up. Epic OJ, Deadly, Asbill, Bamback, Umbra Ghost, Hackmore, Jeffy, Theo, MLC Liz. The Racing Bull in P15 is Crad Boy. What is it? It's not Crab Boy, it's he's got so many different names, I can't remember. Joshua Bear in P16. Is it AE Kit Cryptic? That's it, isn't it? AE. There we go, got it. And Hackmore is McLaren. And Jensen is Racing Bull. There we go. Mirko crashed out, Dora. Wow. So, just when B Right needs to win to tie up the championship, he's going to be in P2 and his teammate is going to be in the lead. The Aston Martin's going to play nice. Possible rain at the end. Wow, in the desert. The Aston Martin's going to work together. Remember, they've got the Constructors' Championship up for grabs. And they are 18 points behind Ferrari. So this is massive for Aston Martin. But Ferrari are also there. Fanfinis and Mirko. Mirko crashed out, which will be music to the Aston Martin drivers' ears. So everybody on mediums, barring two drivers, Fanfinis and Reese. And Mirko as well on the hards. Well, Aston Martin 1-2, Fanfinis in P4 and the other Ferrari in P18. They're Aston Martin 18 points behind Ferrari in the Constructors. So, 18 drivers on the grid, all getting ready to go racing. I'm glad we didn't use the telemetry actually, because only 10 drivers are sharing the telemetry, so that's good actually. So they all line up. Here we go, this is it for round 18. And that is Merkel right at the back, waiting for a Red Bull to come through. And that is Epic OJ. Merkel. Epic OJ, this is it. Here in round 18. Here in Las Vegas, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. B-Ride's got the inside line. Is his teammate going to let him go down in towards turn one? Absolutely. The Aston Martin's got wheel to wheel. Ryan Clemenson sees his teammate making a move. These yellow flags at the back. Ryan Clemenson is back through. And B-Ride around the outside. The two Aston Martin drivers. Did B-Ride hit the wall there? Here comes B-Ride and his teammate. Ryan Clemenson is still in the lead at the moment. And B-Ride will slot back in behind him as Jensen and Fanfrenes come after them. The two Aston Martins trying to move away. Epic OJ down 10 places. The Ferrari over AMS Merkel. That is Formula Ride getting involved in the troubles. Joshua Bear is moving through the grid like a hot knife through butter. And Formula Ride and Crab Boys are going at it through the Las Vegas sphere. Crab Boys having to back out there. Zora War in the Alpine trying to make moves and make places. AMS Merkel is already up 5 and makes the overtake on Formula Ride. But for how long, as Crab Boys is now trying to come back at Merkel, the Italian. And the two Aston Martin drivers really trying to get their foot down to make amends here. And these are vital points as Fanfrenes is chasing down SCI Jensen. He knows that he needs to reach B-Right. And that is Theo Thailand on Zora War. The Alpine will just slot back in behind the Kick Sauber driver. That is Deadly on the back of Reese. Reese just slipping and sliding. Has that opened up the door for Deadly? He's going to get his foot down into the slipstream of the Mercedes. Down towards turn 17. He's going to look up the inside. Here comes Deadly. He's all over the back of him. Is he going to go for that late lunge, that late speciality that Reese is usually the one to do? Here comes Deadly up the inside of the Mercedes driver. Wheel to wheel go Reese and Deadly. And the Mercedes driver goes out wide and just fends off the attack from Deadly. But now they'll have that DRS as Fanfrenes is also chasing down SCI Jensen. And that is all the Haas can do for the moment. Formula Ride, Theo Thailand, Zora War. Here comes Zora War on Theo Thailand. What about Merkel on Joshua Bear? The Ferraris and the Mercedes are still going at it, and up the inside goes Merkel. Has to back out. An audacious attempt at an overtake. So Ryan Clemenson leads to B-Right, to Jensen, to Fanfrenes, to Reese, to Deadly. And that was Deadly just lunging over the apex. But it is still Aston Martin 1-2 on lap 2. And that DRS will now become active. And look at Fanfrenes on the back of Jensen. And what about Jeffy Boy on Asbill, the Sauber driver, through on the Papaya McLaren. And Merkel and Jeffy Boy wheel to wheel got the Ferrari and the Mercedes through turn 16. And that was a risky move by both of these drivers. And still nothing to separate them, but Merkel will have the inside line as they go in towards turn 1. Merkel does move in front and up to P11. Remember, sprint points all the way down to P10. So Ryan and Theo continue the battle, absolutely. You're right, Nimbo. So Ryan Clemenson leads to B Right. That is Crab Boys through on Formula Ride. The Racing Bull on the Red Bull. The two sister cars. Zora War now looking for an overtake. Is he going to go for it? He's not. He's going to be patient. And Zora War looks for him, but the inside has to back out. So they are 7 tenths clear of the McLaren. So B Right 3 tenths behind Ryan Clemenson, but he'll have that DRS on his teammate, and surely they're going to work together, and B Right will move into the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And if it stays like this, the gap will be significantly down in the Constructors' battle. I think if my maths is correct, it will be down to 3 points. So B Right leads to Ryan Clemenson, Fanfurness, Reese watching on. Down in towards turn 1. Remember, you've got to watch out for them hard runners. The likes of Fanfurness. Sorry guys. The likes of Fanfurness and then Reese as well. Both on the hard compounds. Their tyres will be a lot stronger come the end of this sprint race. So the Aston Martin drivers need to do what's best. The best thing that could have happened for the Aston Martin duo is for them to be 1-2, because they can work together. And even if one of them has to slow down to hold up, they know that that is there. That is an option. And oh, that's Formula Rye and Zora War. Formula Rye up the inside. Zora War into the wall. And that is front wing damage for Formula Rye. Theo Tarland, Umbra Ghost and Hackmore all with slight wing damage. Here comes Theo Tarland around the outside of Formula Rye. They went at it in Tier 3 and it continues into Tier 1, and the Red Bull wiggles and says, what are you doing? That is Ryan Clemenson. It is back through on B Right. The Aston Martin drivers trade places once again. This is a phenomenal race. And if it continues like this for 25 laps, who knows what will happen. So with that DRS enabled again, Fanfurness and Reese, they're locked in that DRS train, and although they've got them fresher tyres, it's going to be so difficult to get through. That is Zora War into the pit lane and out of the sprint race, the first retiree of the sprint race, and he'll look to come back in the feature race. Here comes Crab Boys. He's going to try the old switcheroo on Joshua Bear. Can he get his foot down? No, he can't. And Joshua Bear able to cover that off with some great defensive racing. Here comes B Right on Ryan Clemenson. They're going to hit the Las Vegas Boulevard again in that same position. So Ryan Clemenson leads. You can see them all coming through. DRS from P1 all the way down to P10. And Hackmore knows that he's got Mirko chasing him down. Zora, I know, tell me about it. B Right into the slipstream. Is he going to go for the move, or is he going to be patient and stay behind? He's going to stay behind, but what about Reese? He needs to think about Fanfurness in front, and that is Formula Rye and Theo Tarland, and once again they squabble, and it's Formula Rye that comes out on top, but for how long? That is Theo Tarland with the DRS. That is Crab Boy on Joshua Bear. Joshua Bear up the inside, but Crab Boy is through. Formula Rye stays in front of Theo Tarland. Here comes B Right on Ryan Clemenson, and the two Aston Martin drivers stay 1-2. And it is Ryan in P1. That is a yellow flag. That is Joshua Bear that's out in the pit lane. So he's not going to be able to help his teammate today. That is Hackmore and Elias. Elias goes up the inside, hits the wall. He's made the move though, and up to P9 goes the Williams driver. Reese and Fanfurness, remember, on them hard compounds, they've got to make them work though if they're risking using a set of hards in the sprint race. That is Mirko and Hackmore now. Remember, Hackmore does have a missing end plate from the start of this Grand Prix. He's down in P10. Reese, not that clean coming out of the exit of turn 12. He'll be frustrated with himself with that yellow flag. That is a Haas driver of Umbra Ghost that is round. Umbra Ghost will also be annoyed. Here comes Hackmore on the back of Mirko. He's going to go for that double overtake. They're going to go three wide. The Williams covers him off. That's Liz. That's Hackmore. That's Mirko. They're both swarming him. And here comes Mirko, the Ferrari, around the outside of the Racing Bull, down in towards turn 14, 15 and 16. Can he get the better exit? Remember Hackmore with that missing end plate, and Liz just watches him squabble in front. The Ferrari, the Italian on the Belgium up the inside of turn 17, and it is the Scuderia that prevails. So he is finally through, and now he's got to deal with a Liz behind. I'm wondering if the Aston Martin drivers will trade places. Theo Townland is out in the pit lane as well. Jeffy Boy and Deadly in really strong positions. Fanfinus and Reese, remember, on them hard compounds, they've got to start to think about this Grand Prix and where they can make a move, where they can execute these overtakes, because these hard compounds have to pay off. SCI Jensen has been super strong throughout this sprint race. So down the Las Vegas Boulevard again. Rain is probably about to come. Yeah, somebody said there was rain. If rain comes now, this is just throws a huge spanner in the works. So Ryan Clemenson leads to be right to Jensen, Fanfinus and Reese. Reese just cannot get a good exit out of turn 14. And then when he comes down the straight, he's right there. There's Liz on Hackmore. The Williams driver does get through on the Racing Bull, and up to P10 for the Mexican driver. He goes deep and right over the apex. I'm very lucky to still be in this Grand Prix there, Liz. But he might have opened up the door for Hackmore. Here comes Fanfinus on SCI. Jensen goes up the inside. Jensen leaves him the space. Really respectful racing from the Papaya. And now Fanfinus will back out and try and switch up the inside. And as all of this is going on, Reese is still watching. They have now opened up a 2-second gap to the drivers behind. We are on the penultimate lap, 1.5 to go. And it is still 1-2 Aston Martin. But for how long can they hang on? Remember, they're on their medium compound tyres that are around 40% worn. But the hard compounds are also around that tyre wear, around 40%. But they'll just have a bit more grip. So this is where Jensen, Fanfinus and Reese have to start to put the pressure on, especially with the different tyre strategies coming into play. And right over the apex, and that was Ryan Clemenson that made a huge mistake, and B-Rat had to back out. Jensen also had to slow down, and they've opened up a 1-second gap to Jensen, who's going to lose DRS. This means Fanfinus and Reese can both pick up places on the McLaren, who's done a splendid job staying in front. And it might all be undone in the blink of an eye. Here comes Reese, here comes Reese. Oh, and he nearly goes for that move, his speciality up the inside. But he's not able to pull it off, is the current world champion. The two Aston Martin drivers, 1-2. The Ferrari is now in P3. That is huge points in comparison. The Aston Martin drivers going to swap back around. Jensen knows he'll have DRS, and that is Reese up the inside of Jensen. He went for it, and he got it. He's on them hard compounds, so they are starting to feel the tyres come alive here in Las Vegas. And Fanfinus knows he will have to try and catch up to these two Aston Martins, who are locked 1-2 as they have been all race, and that is Deadly being overtaken by Jeffy, and Aspel goes up the inside on Deadly, but Aspel stays in P8. Fanfinus might have one chance. There's a little slip and a slide there from B-Right. I'm wondering if there's going to be any movement. That is Liz that is rounding that Williams. Really unfortunate for him. He was having a pretty decent debut. So Ryan Clemenson and B-Right. Here is Fanfinus on them hard compounds. He's going to have so much more grip. And are they going to swap around? Let's find out. Ryan Clemenson leads. The championship leader, his teammate in P2. Eliz has left before we've even got to the feature race. I'm wondering if Ryan Clemenson is going to let him by on the line. Here comes Reese on Fanfness. This is not good for Fanfness. These two are separated by 2 points in the championship. They are going at it. Reese is up the inside. And then on Fanfness puts him into the wall. Reese is round. Reese has got no front wing. And he is round. And Ryan Clemenson does let him through. Oh my goodness me. Ryan Clemenson has gone and led his teammate through to take the extra point. Incredible from the Aston Martin duo. My goodness me, what an end. Really aggressive driving at the end from the Ferrari and the Mercedes. I'm not sure what happened there. So that is it. It is. Let me just put these in the system. So the sprint race, it is B Wright to Ryan Clemenson to Fanfness to Jensen, Deadly, Mirko, and then in P7 is Reese. This is awful for his championship hopes. Jeffy Boy, and then Hackmore. As built, P11 is AE Cryptic. Buy Me Back, Eliz, Epic OJ, Theo Townland, who's in P17, Joshua Bear. I'm not sure what happened with Eliz, he just left on track. Yeah, I've seen that, mate. Yeah, not sure what went on there, Dennis. I will take a look at it, mate. He's just left the session. He's actually got a full-time seat next season as well, so not sure what's happened there. And just send these to Salute. Salute, salute. How are we all doing in the chat? So, drama already between Fanfness and Reese, but on the very last lap, but it only hurt themselves because they are separated by 2 points and they are 55 and 57 points behind B Wright. Surely they've got to be working together there. They've got to be smarter than that, the pair of them. They had a chance to try and work together, especially on them hard compounds, and take some points away from the Aston Martin, but it did not happen that way. So, just having a look at the live standings at the moment. Let's have a look at the team standings. So, Aston Martin are now only 12 points behind Ferrari as it stands in the Constructors, and in the Drivers' Championship, B Wright is now 57 points in front of Fanfness and 63 in front of Reese after that sprint qualifying, after that sprint race. So that is massive. That means that Reese and Fanfness need to outscore B Wright in the feature race. So a few of the drivers. So, the Drivers' Championship, 57 points separate B. Wright and Fanfurness, and 63 between B. Wright and Reese after that sprint race. So we move on to the feature race. So Crab Boy is out on track, just starting his lap. Umbra Ghost, oh, and that was Asbill, who was really strong in that race, by the way. He's been really comfortable since moving up to Tier 1. So was Deadly, actually. It's nice to see two drivers actually move up and do so well. Let's see if Liz will join back. No, it looks like he's gone offline. So, Dale Townland invalidated it. And Formula Rye 1:31.5 from him. That might cause a problem with Liz with his car and AI for the rest of the Grand Prix. And that does mean that there is another spot just opened up in Tier 1 for next season. I know Powertron was absolutely gutted, so... SCI Jensen, a 1:31.4 on the mediums, goes P1. I don't know if I've done the thumbnails for YouTube. Sorry, I know that's really random, but just bear with me. Because if otherwise I forget. YouTube thumbnail, where is it? It should be a Vegas one, round 8, that's round 60 in Vegas, that's the realistic one. Ah, round 18, yeah, I have done it. Not sure about that thumbnail one. No, it's alright. So, Deadly goes fastest, Crabboy in P2. On the soft compounds though. I really wish we uploaded all of our races to YouTube from the very start of the season. It would have been nice. From the very start of the beginning, sorry, I meant to say. So, Deadly in at P1. You've got Zora War in the Alpine going for another lap. So, Zora War coming down the Las Vegas Boulevard. So Zora War into P7. Mirko and Hackmore. Hackmore will be first. He's just coming in towards turn 12. You hear the fans cheering in the background. Remember guys, if you are looking for some Fanatec stuff, you can use our link in the chat. And if you are looking for some sim racing setups, you can also click on the link and use F7R at checkout for 5% off. So in towards turn 14 for the very racy bull. And what can the Albanian Belgium do? Down to the line, it's a 1:30.3 and he goes provisional pole. Now he's starting to show up is Hackmore. Mirko in the Ferrari, who crashed out in sprint qualifying, is going to go again for another crack at this. He's not on a flying lap though. Theo Townland is, as he goes purple sector 2 in the Sauber. And he's now getting a huge slipstream from the Haas. He moves over to the left-hand side. Oh, and he nearly does put the Haas into the wall. And I think that was Umbra Ghost. And Theo Townland just shifting him out the way. Into turn 14, goes really deep. And that would have cost him so much time there. So, he's going to get a decent banker on the board, though, is Theo Townland. Swings it in. It's a 131.8, and he will be a little bit frustrated by that one. Hackmore is currently on provisional pole. Joshua Bear, Mr. TikTok, in at P11. If he spent more time practicing and less time chatting on live, he might just get a decent lap in here. He's absolutely loving life on that TikTok live at the moment. Is Joshua Bear, fair play to him. Oh, Mirko got impeded. So he's invalidated it, has Joshua Bear. I stand true to my word. Jeffy Boy in the Sauber, coming through sector 2, down the monorail. Don't worry, Zora, it's only your first race back. Oh, and he just slides through there, wow. And now, the other car in front of him doesn't want to give him two. Oh, he does, it's his teammate, wow. I'm surprised he didn't try and give him a bit more of a tow there. And that was a Sauber. Phil Townland just dropping back. And Jeffy Boy up towards turn 14. Over the apex we go. Really close to the wall. It's exactly where Mirko binned it in sprint qualifying. Yeah. Man on a mission here tonight, Formula I. Man on a mission. Jeffy up to P3. Fanfurness in the Ferrari. He lost 2 points in that championship fight to be right. The Aston Martin drivers looked very quick, but we don't know what Hackmore or Reese can do yet, as Hackmore got impeded on his flying lap and Reese invalidated, so we don't actually know where they would have ended up. But all we know is that Ferrari and Aston Martin are really close in the Constructors' battle. Between the pair of them, they've both had 3 race victories. And Ferrari have had 7 P2s, Aston Martin have had 4. But then Ferrari have had 3 P3s and Aston Martin have had 7. So really closely matched. And that's why Ferrari are on 648 points and Aston Martin are on 636. Yeah, no worries, Crads. So, Fanfurness goes up to P3. SCI Jensen in P4. Yellow flag. That is an Aston Martin. And that is Ryan Clemenson. And he's invalidated, but he is slowing down. And he is waiting for his teammate. Here comes B. Wright. And Ryan Clemenson showing why they are the best duo on the grid in season 11. The 2 Aston Martin drivers. Ryan Clemenson going to give a huge tow to his teammate again. That DRS enabled. And the rear wing wide open as he just slips out of the way. And B. Wright will go into turn 14. And the Aston Martin drivers once again working together. And that was executed beautifully down towards the line for the Aston Martin, the championship leader, and B. Wright goes pole. It's a 1:30.0. Ryan Clemenson peels off into the pit lane. And that was fantastic. Here comes Mirko, his teammate of Fanfurness is in front. Did they do the same thing? I think they did. No, Mirko was quite a bit behind. No, they are both not on a lap, so no teamwork for Ferrari just yet. Reese in the Mercedes. Also on a cool down lap. Umbra goes in the Haas. Umbra goes currently in P11. We've still got Joshua Bear, Ryan Clemson, Epic OJ, and Eliz, who's not in the lobby. I'm really hoping that Eliz doesn't cause any issues in the feature race. Umbra goes back into the pit lane. Field Townland on his way back out. Yeah, it was great teamwork, weren't it? It was just executed amazingly as well. Like the way they went down, he went all the way down to literally the braking point and then peeled off. And then obviously B-Right had to do his bit. But I'm sure we'll see some teamwork from the two Mercedes and the two Ferraris come the end of this session. So we wait and see. Oh yeah, OJ's in AI and Eliz is in AI, so... Yeah, exactly, Zora. It can get so confusing. That's why you've got to get it right. Yeah, he is online. Epic OJ, he is online. I mean, I'm not sure Epic OJ on the grid next season is going to be viable, which is really unfortunate because he's been here for a long time. But, I mean, I'm just going to look at the standings actually and just try and see. So, I'm trying to look, but he's... I'm pretty sure he's only finished 3 races all season. From what? No, because he's got 151 points, so he can't have done. Oh, sorry, no, he's finished 9 out of the 18 races. But a lot of them are in AI as well, aren't they? It's a shame, really. I'm hoping his internet gets sorted, but yeah, there's no way if his internet's like that, then he would be able to race next season, because it's just he just fills the grid and then leaves. It's really, it just causes problems. So Reese is back out. Is he going to get any help from his teammate? Hackmore is back out. B-Right is in the pit lane. Ryan Clemenson is on an out lap. And I'm wondering if the Aston Martin is going to head out soon to help his teammate, because one Aston Martin at the front, 2 Aston Martins at the front are better than one, and Ryan Clemenson just moving out of the way of the Mercedes. And yeah, Ryan Clemenson probably will go for a flyer, and I'm sure B-Right will probably give him a tow down the Las Vegas Boulevard. So, is that a Mercedes on a lap? No, it's Reese, isn't it? Crab Boys and Umbra Ghost are on a lap. Umbra Ghost is improving by 2.5 tenths going into the Las Vegas Sphere. Just having a look, there's no rain projected, is it? No. So, Reese is now on a lap. We will watch the Mercedes driver down in towards turn 1. And he's got a little bit of traffic. Some drivers heading out of the pit lane now. And then around turn 2 and 3. And down towards turn 5 at Caesars Forum with that rear wing open. In towards turn 5. And this is a pretty cool lap. He is slightly up on his lap time here, Reese. He's finding that extra bit of pace as he comes in towards turn 7 and 8 at the Las Vegas Sphere. And then in towards turn 9. And Reese is just throwing that car around. A really sharp front end, as Alex Albon would say. He's just literally leaning into it, and he's pulling that car right into the corners. And oh, and he's gone deep. He's gone deep. And he's going to have to go for another lap. And he's going to have to recharge that battery. He's left the session. His car just lagged out. He's left the session. Hackmore in the Racing Bull in P2. Hey, thank you so much, LA back. So, be right on and out lap. What's gone on there, Reese? Ryan Clemenson is up to P2. He did get a lap in. He moves out of the way for his teammate. And it is 1-2 Aston Martin again. Disconnected for Reese. Oh, that's so unfortunate. He's back in. That's so annoying. He went deep at turn 12 and then it just lagged out. Right, I'm glad he's back in. So Aston Martin 1-2. Hackmore, can he improve? The checkered flag has waved here in Las Vegas. Around turn 16 and then down to the final corner at turn 17. Is Hackmore going to be able to improve? Mirko's gone quickest. Hackmore stays P4, but it's Mirko in the Ferrari who is fighting his way to the top for this Constructors' Championship that has taken provisional pole at the moment. Fanfurness takes P3 and goes in front of Ryan Clemenson. So Ryan Clemenson is not going to be able to improve, and B-Right is down on his lap time, and he's definitely not going to improve down here because he got a huge toll last time. So it looks like the battle for the Constructors is well and truly on here in Las Vegas. Ferrari, Aston, Ferrari, Aston. This is massive. So, will B-Right get any improvement? I'm not sure he will. So Ryan Clemenson, B-Right peels off into the pit lane. Ryan Clemenson not happy about something. Formula Rai in the Red Bull is going to come down towards the line. Formula Rai goes P13. Ryan Clemenson will be last, and it is Mirko that takes pole here in Vegas. Massive. That is not good for B-Right. So Mirko takes pole position in the feature race. It is B-Right, Fanfurness, Ryan Clemenson, Hackmore, and then Reese in P6. Deadly in P7, SAI Jensen in P8, P9 in the Racing Bull is AE Cryptic. And then comes Jeffy Asbill, Umbra goes by and back. The Mercedes of Joshua Bear in P14, Theo, and then the rest of them come through. I just need to swap two of the cars around. Otherwise, I'll forget to do it, you see. Will it not let you back in, Reese? Oh, God. I feel that stuffy. I'm just looking at the race for today. We had 18 drivers... Sorry, 19 drivers in Tier 3, 20 in Tier 2 and 18 in Tier 1. Pretty decent day of racing. 57 out of 60 drivers raced. So here we go, formation lap. And if you don't know, now you know, just to let you know, that Ferrari lead the Constructors' Championship to Aston Martin by 12 points. So this is why it is incredible that it is Ferrari, Aston, your top four. Because if you didn't know, now you know, 12 points. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Reese, that's what I'm waiting for. That's what That was one of the main reasons we didn't do a tier 4. One of the main reasons is that it was brought up a couple of times that we're going to have 6 extra seats next season with Cadillac. So that's why we didn't, and I think it's going to be amazing to have 22 drivers in each tier, which should be so good. But we are very, very close to maybe potentially opening a 4th tier, and it would have to be after tier 2. We can fit it in. It would be a full day of racing. We can fit it in and still work around the real F1, as long as we don't get something like, you know, Spa 2022 or something like that. But yeah, we can potentially fit an extra tier in. I'm thinking where it would go would be the bridge between tier 1 and 2. So tier 2 would then become tier 3. Tier 3 would become tier 4, and tier 1 and 2 would become tier 2 would become a new tier, bridging the gap between 1 and 2. So, formation lap is nearly over. Jeffy Boy in Formula Rye. Crab Boys is back in. Good stuff. So, all of the drivers now starting to line up. This is going to be really interesting down in towards turn 1. That's another potential Nimble. It was either the bridge between 1 and 2 or the bridge between 2 and 3. Well, obviously, because that's the only bridge we can do, but you know what I mean. We didn't know if we would have more drivers. I think so, on the bottom half, but some people say it's between 1 and 2, so we'll see. You will be able to in a minute. Here we go. This is it for round 18 for the feature race here in Las Vegas, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. Zora War got a drive through. Fanfitness is already through on B right, cuts right in front of him, and the 2 Scuderías, and he's right underneath him. And they've ghosted and right in towards turn 1 and 2. The Ferrari and the Aston Martin, nothing to separate them, quite literally. And the Ferrari driver does get ahead. Here comes Ryan Clemenson, wheel to wheel with his teammate. Is he going to go for that move? Surely B-Right lets him go, he does. And now here comes Reese looking for a move up the inside of the Aston Martin driver, but Ryan Clemenson is on the hunt for them 2 Ferraris in front. Joshua Bear is through on Theo Thailand. The Alpine, the Mercedes on the Sauber, and that is a touch in front of that. It's Zora Wood that is round after that drive-through. And there's a yellow flag. Is that a VSC just to neutralise the grid? But it is Mirko on the opening lap that still leads. The last thing you want now is a drive-through. And that is Crab Boy at the back. Crab Boy's out, retires, and take a breath. Crab Boy retiring. On the track, what's happened there? Ryan Clemenson is all over the rear diffuser of Fanfitness. Here he comes. The yellow flag is over. We are back racing. And Ryan Clemenson is chasing down. And here comes Reese on B right. And the Mercedes driver moving up the inside. He's going to go later on the brakes. And they do touch. And the Aston Martin driver and the Mercedes B right backs out. He's got everything to lose there. And here comes Deadly. And Reese 1.6 behind. Here comes the 2 Ferraris. Fanfitness is being let go by Mirko, and now is it time to do a Sergio Perez move from Mirko and hold up the pack. The 2 Ferraris being very careful, extra cautious through there. And Ryan Clemenson might get a chance to move. Jensen is back through on his teammate. I think Asbill just letting him go. Joshua Bear in the Mercedes goes up the inside of the American. And through goes the Mercedes to separate the 2 Papayas. Hackmore on the back of Deadly. B-Right on the back of Reese, who's 1.2 behind the front 3. But Reese needs to get some decent points out of B-Right here. He needs to go for the race victory if he wants to stay in this championship. So Fanfitness leads to Mirko. Ryan Clemenson, Reese and B-Right all back within that DRS range. Really fascinating stuff. We just don't know how it's going to go. So remember, they'll get that DRS. And here comes Mirko on his teammate. Ryan Clemenson is coming at some speed. B-Right is back through on Reese. And the Mercedes driver overtaken by the Aston Martin. Ryan Clemenson goes up the inside of Fanfurness. Fanfurness is there. Ryan Clemenson backs out. And that is great racing from Ryan Clemenson to avoid taking out Fanfurness in the Ferrari there. Really close contact. But they managed to make it work. That is how it's done. So they're all still locked in that DRS range. B-Right, the two Ferraris 1-2, the two Aston Martins 3-4. 12 points separate them in the constructors fight. And then you've got Reese in P5, who is still in with a chance at the Drivers' Championship, but his chances dwindling away with every lap at the moment. Especially after that sprint race incident with Fanfurness. Through the Las Vegas sphere we go. Oh, Mr. Reese, you missed it. Mirko, Fanfurness, Ryan Clemenson, B-Right. I made a really long video, but I obviously know that it's a really long video, so I don't expect everybody to watch it. Here comes Deadly on Reese, the Haas driver on the Mercedes, and Umbra Ghost is out. Yellow flag is that a virtual safety car, and Deadly was just about to go for the overtake on Reese, but he's had to back out, and the VSC is back out here in Vegas, and it neutralises it right down the DRS straight. The last thing you would want to do now is get a drive through. The drivers have got to be extra cautious. And Deadly's slowed down quite significantly here. Here comes Ryan Clemenson. And he's still all over the back of them two Ferraris. And the yellow flag is still out, and the Ferrari is really slowing down. Nobody decided to pit on lap 4. Everybody's staying out. I think pitting under a VSC might not have been a bad thing. The VSC has been out for a really long time. There we go. We are back racing. Green flags here in Vegas. Fanfurness, the championship contender in P2, but he's got his teammate in front of him. That's exactly where he would want him to be. And we are going back to battle. Epic OJ, Andy Liz. Epic OJ just didn't join back. He is still online. So again, here comes Fanfurness on Mirko into the slipstream, and the two Ferraris swap around. And Fanfurness is in front, and that is Asbill and Joshua Bear that is throwing SCI Jensen. They've both got DRS. Here comes Asbill on Joshua Bear. The McLaren driver does touch the Mercedes. The Mercedes will go later on the brakes up the inside. Joshua Bear just trying to fend off the attack from Asbill. Here comes SCI Jensen slipping and sliding as he goes for another overtake. Theo gets through, and SCI Jensen is peeling off into the pit lane. Does he have damage? He does. Front wing damage for SCI Jensen. What happened there? Mirko on Fanfurness, Ryan Clemenson, B-Right, Reese, Deadly, Hackmore. SCI Jensen into the pit lane. He's going to get that front wing repaired. So, not sure what's going on here. So I'm streaming straight from the PlayStation tonight. I'm not using the overlays for Tier 1. I just wanted to try them out earlier, that was all. But I am going to maybe try them again next week, see what we can do, because I'm going to use different overlays this time so we can get the whole thing up. So Mirko will be in DRS. Ryan Clemenson is coming at speed into the slipstream of that Ferrari. Here comes the Aston Martin. And Mirko, is he going to go for the move? He doesn't. He backs out. So is Ryan Clemenson. B. Wright is there. Reese, and that is Theo Townland. Through on Joshua Bear, who's just struggling for a little bit of pace. Liz is through on Epic OJ. Zora Warren, SCI Jensen with that front wing chase. He's just going to bang out a few laps now. And Ryan Clemenson right on the rear diffuser of Mirko in front. And that is Joshua Bear through on Theo Townland up the inside down towards turn 1. Theo Townland trying to go later on the brakes, trying the old switcheroo up the inside, but the Mercedes just slows down and covers off the inside and says, you're not getting through this time. So Fanfurness, the championship contender, is the one that leads. As it stands at the moment, the championship fight would still be on for Fanfurness, but not for Reese. That is how it stands at the moment. If Fanfurness doesn't finish P1 and B. Wright stays where he is, B. Wright will be crowned champion. Here comes... You know what? He won't actually. Sorry, my bad. I keep thinking it's 25 points. It's not, is it? So here comes Ryan Clemenson. Here comes Mirko. The Ferrari, the Aston Martin has to pull away. And in towards turn 14. And I think Fanfurness went a little bit deep there. And that is Reese and is from B. Wright, the Mercedes driver. The Aston Martin's coming back. He's got the straight line speed in towards turn 17. And Reese will go back down to P5 for now. And that is Ryan Clemenson. And Mirko trying to push him out wide. Here comes Reese again on at B. Wright. Reese will have to take the long way round. B. Wright will cover him off. Reese all over him. They'll both get DRS. And it's getting very tasty at the front of this pack. The Mercedes of Reese looking for a way through. He goes late on the brakes. He's opened up the door for Deadly, who picks up the pieces, but he's slowed down and let Reese back through. And now here comes Hackmore on the inside of the Haas. So Deadly did not want any part of that with Reese. Joshua Bear and Theo Townland through the Las Vegas Sphere we go. And that is STI Jensen through on Zora War. And he is a man on a mission now. Theo Townland and Joshua Bear have been going at it. And into turn 12. And that is the Red Bull of Formula I trying to stick with them. Fanfurness, Mirko, Ryan Clemenson. That is Hackmore now through on Deadly as he chases down the pack. Ryan Clemenson gets a really good entrance into the corner. Joshua Bear, Ryan Theo Townland once again. Joshua Bear is through. And that is Reese and B. Wright going in towards the pit lane. The Aston Martin and the Mercedes are going for the early stop. And Reese follows him in. He's not letting him get away with anything here. And they're both into the pit lane, both into their quick stops. Reese on his way out. B. Wright will come out just in front of the Mercedes driver and they stay in position. Joshua Bear also pits. They're double stacking. And I thought Joshua Bear might have stayed out to try and cover off B. Wright in the Aston Martin. But there's no work there between the Mercedes drivers. B. Wright now onto the hard compound and going for the undercut to maybe try and get in front of the two Ferrari drivers. Is this the plan? Are the Aston Martin drivers trying to cover off the Ferraris in their bid to win the Constructors' Championship? So, if Reese does not outscore B. Wright, he cannot be crowned champion. If Be Right beats Fanfinus in any position up to P5, he will be crowned champion. It is that simple. Mirko has been let through by Fanfinus. Is he going into the pit stops first? Formula Rye on Theo Thailand down the Las Vegas Boulevard. Formula Rye and the Red Bull is through. And both Ferraris are staying out. Both Ferraris are staying out. And now Ryan Clemenson is into the pit lane. Hackmore is staying out. Jeffy's staying out. Deadly's staying out. Asbill as well. Formula Rye and Theo Thailand are going at it. So Ryan Clemenson has pitted. So, huge stuff here. This means the Ferraris are essentially giving up position. Is this the right call from the Maranello team? They are giving up the position. They are 1-2 and they're not going to come out of the pit stops in 1-2. Incredible. Ryan Clemenson, this is absolutely remarkable. Ryan Clemenson has come out behind Be Right, but in front of Reese. And Reese goes for the lunge on the inside of Ryan Clemenson, and it nearly ends in disaster. And Ryan Clemenson is going to try and come back. Sorry, Reese is going to try and come back on Ryan Clemenson, but they're going to be so aware of them late dives from the Mercedes driver. We know how good he is at pulling that car to a stop so quickly. The Red Bull is out of the way. Joshua Bear is out of the race, and he's going to be no help to his teammate again. So Be Right is through. Formula Rye wants no involvement in this battle that they've got going on for the championship. Fanfinus is through. They're using DRS to help each other to try and stay in front, and the more that they battle behind, the better it is for the Ferrari duo. Where will they come out when they do pit though? Be Right has managed to get in front of his teammate and in front of Reese, and Ryan Clemenson has slotted in between the pair of them. It couldn't have worked out any better for the Aston Martin team. Fanfinus and Mirko have stayed out for another lap. Hackmore, remember, is on them hard compounds, so he will be staying out. But the Ferraris are really pushing this. 58% wear on the medium compound tyres. That is Be Right on Theo Thailand. And Theo Thailand, I don't think will want to get involved in this battle. Wow, that's close to taking out the Aston Martin there. And Ryan Clemenson trying to get through. Reese just watching it behind. Oh my God, Theo Thailand is around. And that was nearly both Aston Martins that were out the race. But my goodness me, Theo Thailand just shoved off the track there. So Mirko, 4/10, they've got to work together. Now Be Right and Ryan Clemenson are in some really clean air. And they can just go racing now. SCI Jensen through on Theo Thailand, the McLaren driver. Mirko and Fanfinus, surely they've got a pit here. And it is Fanfinus. So Mirko stays out. Fanfinus goes into the pit lane. They had to make a decision, and it was Fanfinus that got priority. Here comes Be Right and Ryan Clemenson. Fanfinus only just on his way out of the pit lane, and he's going to come out behind Reese. But he is within DRS range of the pack, so he's got 2 laps fresher tyres, and he's with this pack now. Theo Thailand retires in the pit lane after being annihilated on track. So Jeffy Boy on the back of Hackmore. Mirko, where is Mirko going to come out when he pits? I mean, looking at the Ferrari of Fanfinus, it's not going to be that bad actually, but his tyres are going to be so much fresher. Yeah, no worries, Phil. Really unfortunate, mate. So, Be Right, Ryan Clemenson, Reese and Fanfinus. So, Ferrari did give up multiple positions from P1 and P2. And Mirko is going to do the same. as he's going to go into the pit lane shortly. So yeah, he is going to go into the pits. Ryan Clemenson is through on B right. So the Aston Martin drivers swapping around. Mirko into the pits. Where is Mirko going to come out? There he is, onto them fresh, hard compound tyres. The Aston Martin drivers are coming around now. Ryan Clemenson and B right. And Mirko is going to come out behind his teammate, but he is going to come out in that DRS train. This is worked out perfectly for the Ferraris. They are on so much fresher tyres. They have given position up though. We'll find out if it was worth it at the end. But Ryan Clemenson, potentially here, potentially, B right moves in front of Ryan Clemenson and Ryan Clemenson holds up the pack. But they've also got to think of the constructors' fight that they're in. But they've got options now. They've got track position. They've got so many options. Ferrari though, they're on the better tyre, the fresher tyre. And they will be all guns blazing. Here comes B right on Ryan Clemenson. He'll have that DRS. He's got Reese chasing him from behind. The Ferraris have got a lot more battery. Well, Fampinis has anyway. Deadly through on Formula I. And that is B right through on Ryan Clemenson. The Aston Martin swap around again. It's been like this all race. Fampinis knows he needs to get through on Reese, and here he comes. He's burning that battery. He's going to go up the inside of the Mercedes. He's going to look for a move. This is where he needs to get it. And the Ferrari of Fampinis is through on Reese. And that is one down for the Dutchman. That's what he needed to do, and he timed it beautifully. And Fampinis is up to provisional P3 with the freshest tyres on the grid. Let's have a look at the tyres. Mirko, only one lap on them hards. He is going to be super competitive. The Ferraris do look strong. They are catching up to Asbill, and B right will not want to go through on Asbill just yet because he's going to get DRS. And this is what he wanted, and Asbill is going to give DRS to the Aston Martin driver, not by choice though, because the Aston Martin is going to take it right off him. And now here comes Ryan Clemenson and Fampinis in the Ferrari. Ryan Clemenson is also going to move through on the McLaren. The McLaren just trying to get out of the way. And now he'll slot back in behind the Ferrari. Reese is way behind here, and he might get caught up behind the McLaren of Asbill, who just taps the wall. And now here comes Reese, and Asbill moves out of the way. Fair play to the McLaren driver who's on his way into the pit lane. And Mirko up to P6. So, remember, 12 points separate Ferrari and Mercedes in the Ferrari and Aston Martin in the Constructors' Championship. Yeah, Nimbus. I feel for Podge, you know. I really do feel for him, because that's the second time he's been really close to a championship. Although he needs to keep his head, because... oh, that was a really big lunge there from Mirko. Oh, my goodness. Reese could not do anything about that. The Ferraris are now chasing down the Aston Martin. Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Podge that. It's the second time he's had a championship taken away from him. And you've also got to feel for him, because this season was a bit, you know, yeah, definitely Matty. He has got a trophy though, a Constructors' trophy. Here comes Fampinis. That's why I'm surprised to not see Haas trying a bit more in Tier 2, because Alvaro Chavas is on the verge of winning the Constructors, but after today's results, Here comes the Aston Martin, and Fanfurness had to back out. Ryan Clemenson is through on B. Wright. The Ferrari of Fanfurness has to brake as B. Wright nearly ends his own race there by locking up. And now here comes Fanfurness. B. Wright and Fanfurness both burnt all their battery. B. Wright will take the inside line. This is now getting sketchy. Both the Aston Martins are trying to defend, and B. Wright nearly goes into the back of his teammate. It could have ended in disaster. Mirko and Fanfurness are piling on the pressure now with 10 laps to go. Did they pit too early? Hackmore is staying out 15 laps on them hards. And that is Mirko that is thrown Fanfurness, and the Dutchman saying to the Italian, you go and get him. But Mirko and Fanfurness looking to win a trophy. If Fanfurness wins a trophy, at least I can send him the ones that got sent back to me about 2 years ago that are still in your kitchen. So, the Aston Martin of Ryan Clemenson is the provisional leader. But this is going to be really difficult for the Aston Martin duo to hold on to this. I mean, really difficult. Looking at the tyres, I mean, you're talking 30% to 18 and 15%. Here comes Fanfurness and Mirko. B. Wright using that DRS of his teammate. And he is going to go in front of Ryan Clemenson. And he goes later on the brakes. Ryan Clemenson slots back in front of the Ferrari. And they are doing this really well, by the way. This is not easy to do. What the Aston Martin pair are doing here is not easy one bit. To try and outbrake your teammate and keep swapping positions, especially when you're under attack, like Mirko is trying here. He's going to go the long way round on Ryan Clemenson. He's not able to pull it off. And they go defensive again. And Reese is just a passenger at this point, watching all of this unfold. SCI Jensen is through on Formula I. And the McLaren is up to P10 after having that spin and the front wing change. Yeah, it's really difficult to do. Here comes Mirko. He got the better exit. Ryan Clemenson will have the inside line, though, down towards the Las Vegas Sphere. Ryan Clemenson is still there. Mirko is gifted the space from the Aston Martin driver. He will have to give the space back. And the Aston Martin driver and the Ferrari are nearly into the wall. Mirko is there. Here comes Fanfurness. The Aston Martin of Ryan Clemenson being swallowed up. They're going to go 3 wide. Oh my God, this is close. And it's Fanfurness is up to P3. Ryan Clemenson is back in front of Mirko. Down in towards turn 12. And the Las Vegas Boulevard, they're round. The Ferrari's got no front wing. Ryan Clemenson's into the wall. Jeffy and Reese are through, and now Fanfurness has open arms to be right in front. Oh, Ryan Clemenson missing front wing. Mirko got no front wing. So, Fanfurness has been left to attack B. Wright, and that's exactly what he's going to do on them fresher tyres. And Fanfurness is in front. And B. Wright will stay behind. Ryan Clemenson stays out. Mirko is into the pit lane. So Ryan Clemenson, even though he's got wing damage, he's going to stay out. Reese has now been overtaken by Jeffy Boy. And remember, Fanfurness on them fresher tyres. This is massive. Mirko's pitted. The Constructors' battle is wide open here. And Ryan Clemenson is going to be hunted down with that front wing damage. It really does make it interesting now. So, B. Wright has still got DRS to Fanfurness in front. Yeah, Yudi's such a great guy. And he's been here for a few years. Oh! Who was that? That was Reese. Reese just smashed into the wall where Mirko DNF'd in qualifying. Hackmore's into the pit lane. So is Mirko. He's got a damaged front wing. And Mirko, Reese is out. That's it. The championship is over for Reese. His title is gone. He is the defending world champion. And that is now not the case, as Reese is out of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And that championship defence is out. And it's so unfortunate for him. Such an incredible driver. Such an incredible season for him. His ups and downs. But it all ends in tears. I'm sure he will be back next season bidding for another championship. He was the current reigning world champion. And he's now not going to be able to defend it. Really, really unfortunate for Reese. So, Be Right and Fanfulness are still in it though. So Jeffy is now getting closer to Be Right. Ryan Clemson with that front wing damage is just trying to hold on. 7 laps to go is a long time with that significantly damaged front wing. Here comes Jeffy on Be Right, and this is not... Yeah, no worries, Reese, mate. And this is not what Be Right wants. He does not want a Jeffy, a wild Jeffy up the inside of him. And now he might just have lost DRS to Fanfulness. And looking at the tyres, Jeffy boy, 27% on them hards. He's on really fresh hard tyres. I tell you what, Jeffy's got a really good chance of winning this race. And if I was Be Right, I tell you what, I'd be letting him go because he's got fresher tyres than Fanfulness. And he looks very pacey indeed. And the difference between first and second is 5 points. The difference between second and third is 3. Or 2, one of them. So, Hackmore is through on Deadly on them fresh mediums. You don't need to apologise, Reese. Don't even worry about it, mate. I feel sorry for you, man. That was your championship, you know. Really, really unfortunate for you, mate. So, Be Right is out of DRS range of Fanfulness, and now he's going to have Jeffy attacking. He's got a considerable gap to everybody else behind, though. He's got to start looking after them tyres. Jesus, kidney operation. I hope everything went alright, mate. Don't want anything wrong with your kidneys, man. That can be so bad. So, Jeffy boy is through. And now Fanfulness is absolutely flying. But I think, yeah, I second that, Mad G. But I think the best thing the Aston Martin of Be Right can do at this point is to let Jeffy go and trying to attack that Ferrari of Fanfulness, because that is the best result for Be Right now, and the best result for Aston Martin is to let Jeffy try and catch up to Fanfulness and overtake him, because he will take 5 points away from Fanfulness, and also Jeffy can potentially bring Be Right into it as well by tagging him along with that DRS. Hackmore is looking extremely quick, and I tell you what, there's a good chance that Hackmore could try and catch up to Be Right before the end of this race, so they've got to bear that in mind. And I think Ryan Clemenson is going to try and defend this, but Dennis has gone for that massive lunge up the inside, smashes into the Aston Martin, and luckily the Aston Martin just pulls the car to a stop. And Hackmore just slots back in behind him and goes for the lunge again into the Las Vegas Sphere. Wow. Hackmore is not messing around here. So you can see... Is that rain? Surely not. No, it can't be. It was my eyes deceiving me. So you can see the gap is now coming a little bit down because Jeffy is starting to catch up to Fanfulness, and Be Right... He's going to get that DRS, and every time he gets that DRS, he's going to be able to pull himself back into Jeffy boy. This is not a bad tactic to play at this point in the race. Eliz is through on Epic OJ, both not here though. So Fanfulness needs to start getting his foot down. I mean, them hard tyres from Be Right will be absolutely screaming. So that is an interesting Grand Prix at this point. Asbel on the back of Mirko. Mirko doing his bit to get back in this race. He's only 10 seconds behind Ryan Clemenson. And he's 7 seconds behind Deadly, but Deadly's got damage. And remember, Mirko's on fresh tyres. So if he can try and catch up to Ryan Clemenson, this is big points on the board in the Constructors. If Mirko can get past Ryan Clemenson, who decided to stay out. Both of them got wing damage. One pitted, one stayed out. Who will have made the right decision? Mirko is absolutely flying though. Look at the time he's taking away. And Jeffy is now catching up to Fanfinus. Remember, he's got fresher tyres, and B. Wright is trying to stay with Jeffy Boy and just tag along. Remember, you don't know what's going to happen post-race. But if Fanfinus finishes in front of B. Wright, the championship is still open. Blue flags are waving, and it's just a ghosted car. Hackmore 8.8 and Mirko, wow. Mirko's now only 6 seconds behind Ryan Clemenson. I don't know if Ryan's going to be able to hold this off. Here comes Jeffy, and he's being hindered by that AI car. Oh, and he slipped it. He's hit the wall, and he's got front wing damage. He's got minor front wing damage, and that might have just saved Fanfinus and just gifted Fanfinus an extra 5 points in this race. Wow, so Fanfinus is not giving up. He is still going. And Jeffy just picked up front wing damage, and Mirko is getting ever so closer to Ryan Clemenson. Did Jeffy lose a full front wing? Oh, he did as well. And his tyres are on 42%, whereas in Fanfinus is on 50%. So God knows what B Wrights are on. Hackmore only 6.8 behind. He is really trying to catch up to B Wright. Hackmore only 27%. He's going to be a second or two a lap quicker. I'm just having a look now. The last lap. And let me have a look at the last lap. So the last lap, B Wright 1:34.8 and Dennis a 1:33.3. So 1.5 seconds quicker was Hackmore on B Wright on the last lap, but he's made a mistake this lap. 3 tenths is the gap for B Wright. B Wright will be happy that Jeffy Boy does have damage, because that now means he's got an opportunity still, even with them older tyres, a lot older tyres. They've probably got even ground now. And Fanfinus just needs to bring it home. He needs to be careful, not make any mistakes, any silly moves. He's got a 2.5 second buffer, and he just needs to bring it home. Can Hackmore catch up to B Wright? Mirko is only 2.5 seconds behind Ryan Clemenson. He's going to catch him. And looking at the points, 30, 25, 22, 20, 18, 15, 13. So if Mirko does pass Ryan Clemenson, it means that Ferrari will gain 2 points on Aston Martin. And then Fanfinus is leading, so he'll gain 8 on B Wright there as well. So 10 points. So it'll go from being 12 points to 22 in the Constructors fight. So the decision looks like it was to pit, and Ryan stayed out. Ryan obviously on a lot older tyres as well, just bear that in mind. B Wright really does need to get the overtake on Jeffy before the end of the race. Is he going to save up the battery? It doesn't look like it, but he needs to if he wants to make that final move on the final lap. But I think Hackmore's left it too late, only 6.2. The last lap was a 1:35.7 from B Wright and a 1:34.3 from Dennis, so there was a mistake on the previous lap before that one, because he should be catching him at about a 1.5 seconds a lap, but he's not doing. Fanfurness now 3 seconds clear on the penultimate lap. 1.5 remaining, and it could be the victory that Fanfurness was hoping for before this feature race started. Mirko is finally through on Ryan Clemenson. And if Mirko can get through on Deadly, that's even worse for the Aston Martin duo, who looked like the race was going to be really strong for them. I do think, though, had Jeffy not got damaged, he would have probably been able to catch up to Fanfurness, but unfortunately, you've got to keep it clean and consistent, and that's what Fanfurness has done here. So, we are about to enter the final lap. And this is what it all comes down to. And I'm sure B Wright will still be eyeing up that one last move. Mirko on Deadly does get the move done. And that is more extra points for Ferrari. B Wright is a multiple world champion because he's able to pull it out the bag in times of desperation. And this is one of them times of desperation where he needs to pull it out the bag. But he's made a few mistakes on this final lap. He's now a second behind Jeffy Boy. Them tyres are absolutely killing him. Even with Jeffy's wing damage, them tyres are so worn. I mean, Fanfurness is 62%, so B Wrights are probably around 75 at this point. And he's not going to get DRS down the Las Vegas Boulevard at this point. And he is slipping everywhere, and he's not going to get DRS. And his one and only opportunity, and Hackmore is catching them rapidly here. B Wright, the only one chance that he might have had is dwindling away. Jeffy goes into the final lap and turn 12. Fanfurness is well ahead now. And that is it. It looks like Fanfurness is going to take the race victory here in Las Vegas. 30 points on the board for him. Deadly picks up a time penalty, which has helped Ryan Clemenson. That is massive. Every single point matters at this point. And here comes Deadly. He's through on Mirko. Deadly is through on Mirko on the final lap. This is massive. But no, it doesn't matter because Deadly's got a time penalty. Fanfurness is going to come through to win here in Las Vegas. Jeffy's going to take P2. And B Wright comes through on the podium to take P3. Hackmore takes P4. Mirko is going to come through in P5. SCI Jensen carrying on will take P9. Unfortunately for him, but still great points. Mirko comes through in P5. And Ryan Clemenson will take P6. Deadly's DNF'd it. Deadly has DNF'd it on the line. He was trying to spin through the line. He's DNF'd it. So that is extra points for everybody. Wow. So let's have a look and see how the standing is now. There you have it. On the top step is Fanfurness. He did what he needed to do and throws the griddy. So let's have a look at the final standings. So it is Fanfurness that takes the race victory. Brilliant result. Jeffy, then B Wright, Hackmore, Mirko, Ryan Clemenson, Asbill, SCI Jensen, Buy Me Back, Zora War, Deadly with that DNF. Epic OJ is also going to be DNF. I'm going to throw that in there. Andy Liz is DNF. And then the Mercedes of Reese. The championship gone for him, which is really unfortunate. Joshua Bear just not there to help this evening. And the Racing Bull at the back. No, Pele, not yet, mate. And Fanfurness has took vital points away. My driver of the day is going to be Jeffy Boy, P10 to P2, a consistent drive, brilliantly executed. So I just need to swap these their cars around. So let's have a look at the standings. So the drivers' standings now, it is 36 points. Oh, sorry, that's between Reese and Fanfinus. It is 49 points between B Wright and Fanfinus going into the final 2 races, where 60 points are up for grabs. So let's jump into an interview quickly. Turn the audio off so we don't get copyrighted. It's annoying me when that happens. I mean, we don't put advertisements on the races anyway, because I don't like people who just want to watch the race back. I don't like the fact that they have to watch an advert just to watch it. I do put adverts on like other videos, but never on the races that we upload. So bear with me, guys. And looking at the races as well, Fanfinus has raced every race this season. B Wright has raced 17, so he's missed 1, and Reese has raced 16, he's missed 2, and Mirko has raced 15, he's missed 3. So, what would it have been without that missed Grand Prix? We will never know. So, B Wright is in at the moment, so we're going to start off because he was P3. So, B Wright, P3 today, still leading the championship. Just talk us through that one, mate.
Yeah, it was all at the start where it went wrong. I didn't have the lights on my screen, so I had to look up the actual lights to see when they were going to go out. And then
right.
when the first VSC, I lost a lot of time. So it was just sort of fight back. I tried the undercut, that still didn't work. Yeah, just couldn't make things go my way today, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it looked very strong. The sprint race was spectacular. The Aston Martin duo, and then obviously Ryan Clemenson slowing down on the line as well.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Ryan's been brilliant this weekend. He done everything in the first stint to try and get past the boys. But they just when you got Mirko and when you got Mirko and Fanf and the Ferraris, you can't really do much about it. Gutted not to seal it today. I think Fanf is just sort of hoping for a miracle. Really, I know he's got to gain 19 points on me in the next race, so I sort of know what to do in the next race. Even if he gets a win and I get a P5, it's enough. There's a lot of outcomes next weekend. It was going to be tough today. I have to say I'm gutted. I've been quite nervous coming in today. Just wanted to get it wrapped up because I do really want the Tier 1 championship. So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed. I've let myself down a bit today.
Well, yeah, you say that, but you won the sprint race and you finished on the podium in the feature race. So you're doing everything that you need to do. In terms of the constructors, it's still up for grabs. 23 points is the gap from Aston Martin and Ferrari.
Did they gain on us as well, even from the sprint?
The sprint, you gained points on them, so you took it down to 12 points. Right. And then obviously because of them winning and Mirko finishing in front of Ryan, it brought them back in.
That's how it's gone all season, really, between us four. It's been a really fair battle. I mean, we all speak to each other on a decent level. I think I find it brilliant for what me and Fanf are doing. Me and Fanf are one of the longest drivers, and again we're at the top, which is lovely to see. I got a great relationship with Fanf nowadays, and we laugh every week about us still being in these fights. You know, it's unbelievable. It's been from season 1. So he's a great lad to be fighting against. It's somewhat special.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 5 years of battling and 11 seasons under your belts. It's still great to be there and be at the top of your game as well. And and to be separated by 40 points going into the final 2 races, 49 points.
Is it 49?
Yeah, so 49 points.
Yeah, he needs to outscore me by 19 at Brazil. So
he does, yeah.
When we all been at the front, it's been special, and look how well he's doing in realistic as well. Take nothing away from the lad, he's doing really well. I mean, on Wednesday I got the biggest task of them all. So, but no, take nothing away from Pamplona today. He's done everything he needed to do.
Absolutely. And just finally as well, Reese now out of the championship.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was the reigning world champion. He's still the reigning world champion, but he's not going to be able to defend it until one of either you or Fanfitness take it away from him, either in Brazil or Qatar. But yeah, how's that for you? He's now out of the championship?
Yeah, I mean it's very surprising. We know the face of Reese. Listen, me and Reese have had a tough battle this season. And I think today was the best thing that could have happened to me and Reese, personally, when people seen the names being pulled out of the spin the wheel, and we've been put together. I've already messaged him to say I'm really excited to become his teammate again. And I think it's going to be really refreshing, Nathan, for me and Reese to be together. And I think other people are more disappointed than what me and Reese are. So and bless him as well. He's just had kidney surgery, so that's a lot to take on board. So Reese, if you can hear me, I hope you have a speedy recovery. But yeah, obviously he's a true competitor. You know, he wants to be winning the championships, and I'm sure we're gonna definitely see him out there next season. And it's gonna be right, and Reese to take over the world, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, I can't wait to see what he's doing next season. But firstly, we have to finish this one, and I can't wait to see what you do next week, mate. But a great result, a great podium again, some decent points on the board. So well done, Bennett, and well done on a fantastic Grand
Thank you,
Prix.
Nathan, and well done to Jeffy again as well, and to Fanfitness, of course, keeping his hopes alive.
Well done, mate. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers.
So we move on to your race winner and the championship contender, who is still in with a shot, ever so slim. We've seen Ginaldi win the championship after being 49 points behind with 2 races to go against Podge in Season 8. Will we see this? Fanfitness, how was that one, and your championship hopes are still alive?
Yeah, it's quite amazing to win. First of all, of course, to win. Whole season I didn't win, was still P2. I think that just shows my consistency this season.
Sorry,
But
mate. I was just doing an audio check to make sure that people could hear you. Sorry, go on.
no, yeah, to be P2 in the championship with 0 points coming into this with 0 wins, that's an incredible cost outright. I think that just shows how consistent I've been this season.
Yeah.
And that just shows that I finally found consistency over a whole season instead of only the first couple of races and then the last couple of races.
You know
So
what,
yeah, I think
Fanfitness, you're right, actually. I've just looked at that. And I feel like with our point system now, it really benefits people who drive consistency instead of people who just turn up and win a race and then retire the next 3. And you're proof of that, because this is this your first race victory of the season?
this is my first victory of the
Yeah, I've
season.
just seen that now. I can't believe that. In a championship battle, and this is your first race victory. That just shows how consistent you've been.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just I think a bit of maturity as well.
Yeah.
Coming into this, of course, 5 years ago I was 16 of years old. Um, then I had more raw pace and a bit more quality pace, I think. Now I can just turn up races. Maybe I have less of a quality, but just into the race I can just first you have to spread and then it should be up in pace because I have the knowledge of how things go,
Yeah.
how the race goes and everything. Much less incidents as well. So
Oh,
I think
definitely. Yeah.
I think it's a very good thing to see, and I think that's also shown in realistic at the beginning. Now I think in realistic the cars are getting up there with more battling. I can still win this, but I think it's still hard because of course McLaren is still good. But
No, you're absolutely
it's
right.
this championship was for me not even a chance. Left like 2 races ago. I mostly given up. I was just focusing on P2. To still have a shot is amazing, but uh, to be P2 is good. But Ben and Reese, who I think are faster than me, is quite clear. Then that I'm P2. That's still good for me.
No, absolutely. I completely agree, mate. To be P2 and be in the championship and win your first race of the season tonight. And I just want to point out as well, I completely agree with you. When you were 16 5 years ago and you were racing, And we always said, there was always speculation, if you could clean it up a little bit, if you could get that consistency driving, you would win a world championship. And I feel like you're very, very close to that. You've done it in realistic, and now you've just got to implement it in Tier 1. You are obviously 49 points behind going into the final 2 races. There's very slim chances, but you can take so much away from this season moving on to season 12 with the obviously with the season that you've had and the results that you've had. Obviously as well, the Constructors' Battle, Fanfinish, you are 23 points clear in the Constructors' Battle. If you do win it, I do have a couple of trophies in a box downstairs in my kitchen that got sent back to me about 2 years ago. So
it's so frustrating. I think I need a trophy for my third place in third place. I think I need a trophy from a realistic. I think I need a realistic trophy of a third place maybe somewhere. And then this, I think, second trophy, and then constructor's trophy. It's actually insane.
I will send you a picture. I'll open the box and see what's in there. I'll send you a picture.
Please send me one so I have something to show.
Even if you don't win, I will send them trophies over to you at the end of the season again. But if you do win, I can add one more to it.
Maybe if I come to England once, I can just pick them up.
Yeah, just come and knock on. But no, Fanfinish, it's been a great season from you. I cannot wait to see if you're able to pull the Mission Impossible out the bag and see what you can do in terms of the constructors. You and Mirko have been brilliant teammates, brilliant competitors. So well done and good luck with the rest of the season, mate.
Yeah, thank you as well. And props to Ben for an amazing season. As he said, already 5 years ago we started battling, and we started off not being the best of mates. More looked like incident buddies, but but now I think I think it was good for me to, after I think the last season of 2020 or the first season of 2023, to take a step back, come back, and then I was much cleaner, much better, and I think it was the right choice to come back then. And I see how it ended now in the championship, and much better racer.
Absolutely.
And much better friendship. Not any more incident buddies.
Yeah, I completely agree, Fanf. Well, hopefully it stays like that, mate, and hopefully we can see a great end to the season. Well done on a brilliant race victory, your first of the season, and well done on the constructors' points as well, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck to Ben for the last operation. Thank you for the stream again.
Cheers, fam. Thank you, mate. So there you have it. Your drivers, your P1 and race winner, Fanfinish, your championship leader, Be Right on the podium once again. And it is still yet to be determined who will be crowned champion in season 11. Thank you all so much, guys. We will be back on Wednesday for Realistic. And then we'll be back for the big one in Brazil next Sunday. Thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting us. I hope you like your new teammates for season 12. Thank you all so much for all the support throughout the season. And I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.